Mr. Speaker, I'd like to add my contribution with agreeing with Dr. Rajendra Prasad, my parliamentary colleague, what he has just mentioned about Right Honourable Sir Anand Satyanand. The day he was appointed as Governor General, we really felt proud that someone from our own community has been appointed to the highest office. Not only this, in last 4 years, I have number of occasions I have met him and I have visited Governor's house in Auckland. Both have been great hosts and they have welcomed everyone with their open arms. He very well represented us at Commonwealth Games and a lot of appreciation was given to him in the press in India. I met him first time when at a function where one of the Indian judge was appointed to Manukau Court, Dr. Ajit Singh, and he spoke over there. And I had a lot of respect for him that someone from our own society, our own ethnic community is representing us in different areas. Mr. Speaker, we are debating this bill because Law Commission made a number of recommendations in the area of transparency which Government Administration Committee endorsed. One of the recommendations of Law Commission was that the provision in the Civil List Act were very old-fashioned and unnecessarily complicated and no longer supported what we needed, which is a much more modern office of Governor General. It is an important, timely legislation. The Governor General plays an important role in our Constitution. As Queen's representative in New Zealand, the Governor General maintains the legitimacy and stability of government. The office of Governor General is symbolic link between the community and the state, and Governor General also represents the New Zealand public in a not partisan way on important public occasions, as just now was mentioned by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, that we have met him on a number of occasions of Diwali celebrations. New Zealand's Governor General always supported many community organizations. It is vital that the Office of Governor General is properly supported in carrying out these roles. As a modern stand-alone statute, the bill will separate the arrangements relating to Governor Generals from those providing for ministers and MPs and will therefore better reflect existing constitutional boundaries as well as mana and independence of that office. The bill will further improve transparency by requiring government to present to the House on annual basis the details of the expenses incurred to provide such benefits. Apart from one or two exceptions, the new legislation will not apply to current Governor General but will apply when next Governor General is appointed. I thank officials for their help during the Select Committee and members of Select Committee for their work on the bill. Overall, this bill represents...
Point of order, Honourable Trevor Miller.
Mr. Speaker, I think we have a problem similar to what we had the other day. I think the member is now reading out the Minister's speech on this bill rather than his own one. We've had references to him thanking himself for his work on the bill. I think, sir, it's not appropriate for the member either to reread the Minister's speech or to be thanking himself for the work that he himself did on the bill.
Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking.
I'll rule on that. Now, I've been listening reasonably carefully and I haven't picked up the inferences the members have made. Kamal Bakshi.
Overall, the bill represents a big step forward in how the government supports the bill of Governor General. I commend this bill to the House on its third reading.